It'll take just 1 second. Should be connecting to Facebook in just a second. And we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to the weekend edition of the Strategic Swing Trader. I am Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about the market and we'll talk about some swing ideas for next week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. Also, while you're at it, if you'd like to download a copy of my ebook, link for that is in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and turn on the charts and get started. So what I do every week is go over the market and then give you my bias for the upcoming week and then go over some swing ideas that I like for at least for Monday. A lot of these plays are not ready for Monday, or they don't trigger Monday. Then I end up watching them or playing them on Tuesday, Wednesday. So this list here is good not just for Monday, but for the whole week pretty much. So let's start by going over the market. If you find benefit in today's video and like to help support our channel, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. The market, as you can see, is doing a daily buy setup. So we have that pullback and it's triggering a buy setup. So a buy setup triggers when you basically have an uptrend like so. You know, you have an uptrend, prices are moving up, and then you get a pullback to the rising 20 and or support. So we got the pullback, and then the buy setup triggers when the last red bar's high gets taken out. As you can see, it got taken out on Friday. I don't think the market is going to be, you know, like it's going to rip next week. We've had that big run up and not much of a pullback. I don't know, I could be wrong, but the bias remains bullish. Okay, Qs, SPY, look, they both look almost identical. The IWM looks different, but the IWM, somebody in the room actually I think on Thursday pointed out we have a classic head and shoulders in the IWM, you know, left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. And I said, not really. Good observation, but the head and shoulders pattern. What is the head and shoulders pattern? It's a breakout failure. Okay, that's what it is, and it only works. It mostly works when prices, when the market or the stock that you're looking at is overbought, when it's very extended. So the market is up a lot and then gives you that head and shoulders. Yes, it can come in hard. And it did come in a good amount already. But the head and shoulders pattern when the trend is pretty tight and not overbought, right? Not too extended, it doesn't really work. In fact, I think IWM looks ready for a breakout. Okay? So I'm bullish on all three indexes, the Qs, the SPY, and the IWM. Okay, in fact, the IWM might start leading. The Qs has been the Qs and the SPY have led, and I think the IWM going forward might actually start leading. And before I go over the watch list, look what I got here as the first five. The list is usually sorted alphabetically, and it is in this case too, except for the first five symbols. That's the FANG stocks. It's just I replaced Netflix with Microsoft. So I told you 3 weeks ago, I believe, that I thought we were going to see a rotation out of the IWM, out of the small cap stocks, and into the FANG stocks, into the high-tech mega cap stocks. And I also put that out in a note to subscribers that I think that's where the action is going to be. And we saw the FANG stocks rip, except for Netflix, of course, which gapped down on Thursday or Wednesday because it reported earnings. So the ones that are bullish, Facebook, and Facebook has a pullback too. Apple has a 1 2 3 4 on the weekly chart, and so does Amazon, has a 1 2 3 4. I'm not saying they look so good that I'd be willing to bet the mortgage on them. No, but they're bullish. They're very bullish. So Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and the most bullish is actually GOOG and then Microsoft. GOOG at all-time highs, Microsoft at all-time highs. Those are the most bullish. And then add to the FANG stocks BABA, which doesn't look so hot on the daily chart, but the monthly is at a good spot, is at that rising 20 MA at support also, the top of that base. So we pulled back to it, and the blue line is the rising 20 MA. So I like BABA also long alongside the FANG stocks. This list was copied and pasted into the description of the video, so you don't have to type it up. Feel free to just go to the description, and I forgot to copy the bearish list, and and copy and paste it into your watch list and go over it with me right now. Okay, so FANG stocks, I like them all higher, and then we have BABA, which I like higher over this bar's high, over 234, or can wait for the monthly to trigger, which will be over 245.69 in not next week, the week after, the following week. CTVA is a 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout. So we have a base, and then a pop, and a couple of doji bars, and then a breakout. So I like the CTVA over $49. Okay, it got to $48.92 yesterday, and I like it higher over $49 with a stop under $47.69. This reminds me of the ERM, by the way, if you took from last week. It was phenomenal. Now this thing didn't move up $10 or 30%, but it still made a lot of money because it was a very tight stop also, and we added to the position. Okay, it was a very tight stop just over the base right here, stop under. So this was nice. This kind of reminds me of it. Okay, the similar to the CTVA is the TEL, but the CTVA, in my opinion, is much better or much more ready to go than the TEL. But the TEL is also basing at the all-time high, has been basing the entire year. So I like it higher over the all-time high, which is I think 136.01, with a stop under 127.50 as a long-term play, not as a swing for a couple days, but as a long-term play. So CTVA and TEL. INGR, I got in it and I got shaken out. So I got in it, I think this day, and then I killed it. But I would like to get back in it because it looks really good on the monthly chart. It has a 1, 2, 3 on the monthly chart. So this would be a long-term play also. I like it long over 93.33. Okay, it's a little spready, so give it a little bit of room. And then with a stop under 91.49. Okay, 91.29 that is. 91.29. Long-term play. LFMD. This is a little bit different than what I usually do. I do play the climactic buy setups when the stock falls apart, and this thing did. But then it got, we saw that big red bar. So that's not very bullish, but I do like that hourly base breakout on the LFMD. I take swing trades from one of 4 charts: the hourly, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. 90% of my swing trades come from the daily time frame, but sometimes I'll play them off the hourly or off the larger time frames, the weekly or the monthly. So I like it over the base. Okay, stop under the base with a target at 11.25 maybe, and then $12 the 20 MA on the daily chart for target 2. So I think this has 2 targets: 11.25, 11.29, 11.25, the 20 MA on the daily, and the 20 MA on the daily chart. This is a little bit similar to the GBOX, I think, on the hourly chart. Notice the hourly chart, the base breakout, similar, but I like the daily chart on the LFMD more. Otherwise, this is also not a bad base breakout right here. Stop right there, very tight stop, and maybe target where prices fell hard from. So the 200 MA, that red line, which is about $13 it looks like. But I don't even have that GBOX on the list. I have a much longer list that I watch, but I try not to, I try to kind of narrow it down to just a few items that I think are more ready to go than the rest. In these weekend videos that I do, I'm deleting the FANG stock. So basically, you know, just a handful of stocks right here, okay? Alongside BABA also, which is another mega cap tech stock. Okay, so we talked about BABA, we talked about CTVA, INGR, LFMD, LOVE. Love is bullish. What can I say? Of course it is. Bullish over this bar is high, over the red bar is high, with a stop under 68.50. So over 74.27 long, stop under 68.50, and it has no target because it's at all-time highs. So I don't know where it could get to. It might just go to $90. Who knows? I don't like the cannabis stocks very much. I think they're all very damaged. They don't look that good. But if I had to pick one, well, the most bullish one is the APHA, right? APHA is the strongest, probably. But the one with the best entry would be the OGI over last week's high, which is 272 with a stop under 226. 272 by 226, and then target probably the 200 MA. But it's not one of the ones that I picked for my own account and for the newsletter. So, but I just wanted to mention, you know, since a lot of people like to watch and trade cannabis stocks, OGI is what I would watch for next week. PayPal, we talked about it over here. It triggered nicely and then pulled back, and now has another pullback, similar to the FANG stocks. So I like it higher over 268.16 with a stop under 259.27. Target 300, 305 or so. The all-time high 309 on the PayPal. Okay. SIRI Satellite, kind of a boring stock that doesn't move that much. I mean, over time, I don't know. I guess, you know, from the crash of 2009, it has moved a lot, 6,000%, or is that 60,000% from 10 cents, right? 6,000%. But, yeah, 6,000%. But it has a daily base breakout. So over the base, stop right here, and plenty of room. Will it get to $8 easily? No. But what if it got to here? That would be nice still. So I think the SIRI Satellite looks okay long over 642. Okay? It's not one of the ones that I picked, but you know, if you're a subscriber, you can log on to your T3 Live account and you'll see which 5 I picked for myself and for the newsletter. Or wait for the email to go out before 8 a.m. on Monday morning. Okay? SIRI Satellite setting up for a breakout. SOHU is not a good swing setup because it's already up 3 bars in a row. Usually I don't even get into a play that's up even just one day. Like for example, I think RTX, I had it as an idea in the newsletter yesterday. It already popped. So you're not going to see it even on my watch list for tomorrow because it already popped. So in the case of SOHU, we already have 3 green bars in a row. I'm not going to chase it. But the reason why I'm mentioning SOHU is because it's looking really good on the monthly chart. So I'm not ready to jump in it yet, to get in it. But I do these videos only once a week. Sometimes some of these plays set up midweek, and I only do the video once a week. So I just wanted to kind of bring it to your attention that SOHU is setting up. It reminds me of Baidu a little bit. Remember when Baidu, the 20 MA came from underneath price on the monthly and then skyrocketed, right? It went up like, I don't know, from $100, 100 something to 350, 354 in 2-3 months. So SOHU is similar, another Chinese technology stock. TL we already talked about is a daily base breakout, similar to the CTVA, though the CTVA is better. THC is another base breakout, not very tight. I like it when the base is really tight. As you can see, that's not a very tight base. This is why I played the ERM with, and I did it twice. I added to the position because the base was really, really tight. So you see that? So I like it when the base is very tight. It's like when you pressure something so much, a balloon is, you know, pressure so much, you put so much air in it, inflate it with so much air, it pops. So the same with stocks, I think. If the base is kind of sloppy, then it doesn't explode. It might pop a little bit above it, but when there's a very, very clean, clear line in the sand, then it's easy for that. Then once the stock crosses that line in the sand, it gets all the buying. Okay, so those are the items with alongside the FANG stocks, right? That I like for next week. I also like these short. This IFBD. Wow, what a disaster! Looks lower, doesn't it? Under the base. Let's check on coin. I think it bounced on Friday, so that would, yeah, coin doesn't look good. IFBD, I like it short under 415 with a stop over. To be safe, 520. 415 by 520. EOLS had a really bearish gap down on Thursday, but it was a secondary offering, so it wasn't a real gap, and that's why it didn't move. Though I still like it lower if it can break under $9 with a stop over 10. I like it to drop to $6. Okay, so that gives you about 3-to-1 reward to risk. If it were to break 9 and then get to $6, you know, some of these the setups that I mentioned might not trigger. Let's say, you know, anyone here, let's say Love, I like it higher only if it takes this out. Let's say it comes in and then it becomes invalid, so you just kind of take it off your list. EOLS we talked about. KPTI is already an open position. I talked about it in last week's video. Has the sell setup. It triggered already on that sell setup, but I still like it lower. Under this red bar's low, which is 928, stop over 989, and target is literally $5. Okay, it has no support at all the way down to the lows, about $5 or so. Has no support. So I like the KPTI long-term short. The DELL, I like it as a little bit of a climactic sell setup on the weekly chart. So under $100, stop over 103.80, and it might target one would be the 20 on the daily, $96, 95. Target 2 would be the 20 on the weekly, or let's just say, you know, the support, the base. So right about, let's say $87 or so. So that would be target 2 on the DELL. DELL reminds me a little bit of Oracle, which I had as an idea short in the newsletter a couple days ago, before it triggered here. It was a climactic run-up. And then you got that deadly doji bar, that topping tail narrow body bar, and then it triggered short. It already got to the target. I didn't do it. I had it as an idea. I wish I had it as an official play. I have 2 sections in the newsletter, one for ideas, one for official plays, and another section for the open positions and the updated stops. So if you'd like to check out the newsletter, by the way, if you'd like to check it out, feel free to do so. Link is in the description, or go to t3live.com/swing. It only costs $49 for the first 30 days. So you'll have plenty of time to get to know what I do for a very little amount of money and decide whether you want to continue with it or not. Also, starting next week, we're going to see a lot of earnings plays because earnings season is underway. Earnings season the first week, even the first 2 weeks, is almost dead. Not a lot of companies report. So starting next week, we're going to have the floodgates are going to open up. We're going to have a lot of companies reporting, and I'll be jumping in to some of those companies reporting before they report, and sending out an alert in the afternoon to subscribers. So again, if you'd like to check me out, check out my services, link is in the description. If you have any questions, info@t3live.com. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will talk to you next week. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend also.